Greetings! Welcome back to the Osha Cerese Show. I am your host, Osha Cerese, and this is your daily dose of real talk. This is where culture meets coaching, where healing meets headlines, and where we utilize alchemy to transmute gossip into growth. On this show is all about healing, self-discovery, self-love, and intentional dating. We take some of the celebrity news, trending topics, headlines, and kind of pull the lessons from them um, and see how we can apply them to our lives. Now, let me make sure I have my comments on over here. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, this is where the Asha Cerese Show lives. I'm streaming over on Instagram as well for the time being since it is a new show, but it will be on YouTube only for those episodes that you've missed. They are on YouTube. They are under my live videos. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel. The link is in my bio, or you can go to youtube.com/ at Osha Cerese. That's OSHACERESE, spelled right here for you. And don't only subscribe, but turn your notifications on, because this is a daily show for right now, but it is also a pop-up show. So you never know when I might pop up and show, you know the rest. Anyway, I've been letting y'all know that I was eating raw, vegan, and juicing for the majority of the month so far. I had my first hot meal yesterday that I don't think my body was too fond of. I had a little bit of heartburn, but it went away after the show. And I did not juice today, but my drink of the day is some hot tea. I'm just feeling like a hot tea vibe tonight. I have in here some, I told y'all about it a couple of weeks ago. A couple of weeks ago, I bought some, I think it's called Thrive powder from a vendor outside of Tassili's Raw Reality in Atlanta. I think he can be found at Nasty Lemonade on Instagram or something like that. But it's like some superfoods and different healing properties in this powder. I have that in here, some agave and some roasted dandelion tea. It says, if you truly love nature, you will find beauty everywhere. Ashe. So cheers to an amazing show. Cheers to health, great health, wellness, happiness, joy, love, and abundance. Cheers. I love me some roasted dandelion tea. For people, this doesn't apply to me, but for people who are like addicted to coffee, roasted dandelion tea is supposed to be a great alternative for it. And I can see why, because it kind of gives you that tea, that coffee vibe, because it's roasted, I guess. But anyway, let's get into a few conversations for the day. Again, happy Black History Month. Happy Black History Month. We are highlighting and spotlighting different aspects of our history and culture every day before we get into the true topic of the show. On this day, I wanted to recognize birth work in Black history. So let me see what I wrote down, what I have in my notes. So again, today we are shining light on the rich legacy of Black birth workers, midwives, doulas, and the obstetricians who have been the cornerstone, who have been the cornerstone of maternity care in our communities. From the 1600s, African midwives were brought to America, carrying with them profound knowledge of childbirth, healing, and spiritual practices. These women were more than birth attendants. They were community healers, counselors, and educators, guiding mothers through pregnancy, birth, and postpartum periods. Their expertise was indispensable, especially when hospitals were inaccessible to many Black families in the South. These midwives, often referred to as granny midwives, continue to assist in births, incorporating African traditions and homeopathic remedies into their care. Despite facing systemic racism and discriminatory laws that sought to marginalize their contributions, Black midwives remained resilient, preserving their practices and passing down their wisdom through generations. Today, there's a resurgence in recognizing and honoring the vital role these birth workers play in advocating for maternal health within the Black community. And some other facts, I might have lost the page, but let me see. Some other facts I wanted to highlight. Okay, so again, the Black midwives were often called granny midwives. They were important members of African American communities and provided care to generations of pregnant people. They were community healers who incorporated African tradition into their practice. Enslaved slave owners used midwives to ensure the health of their enslaved women and their newborns. That don't sound right. Enslaved slave owners. Were they enslaved or were they slave owners? After the emancipation, Black midwives continued to work with both Black and white women in rural areas. In the early 20th century, the practice of delivering babies became increasingly medicinalized. Physicians began to exclude Black midwives from attending births, framing their work as unhygienic, unscientific, and unprofessional. In the 1970s, Southern states passed laws ending lay midwives' ability to practice. Some notable Black midwives, Margaret Charles Smith attended nearly 3,000 births during her 30-year career in rural Alabama. Katie Hall Underwood delivered nearly everyone born on Sapelo Island between 1920 and 1968. And Granny Hayden, who was born in slavery, she walked long distances to help people in need. So I just wanted to shine some light on those Black midwives in history. Black birth work is very important, and knowing having resources and knowing your options is very important as well. When I was in nursing school, before I became a nurse, I always wanted to be a pediatric nurse because I love me some babies. I love me some children, but I love the babies. So when I was in nursing school, we didn't really get to do much for our pediatric rotation. We were only able to do hearing and vision screenings for school age kids. So that didn't really spark my interest as much. But during our OB obstetrician rotation, we got to work in triage, seeing how the pregnant women came in, trying to see if they were in active labor, if they need to go home or not, checking their vitals, checking the baby's vitals, all of that. We got to do some work like OB post-op, not post-op, but OB postpartum. So working with mom baby. We weren't able to do much delivery work because that hospital had just changed their rules that they didn't allow students to see the delivery. So we didn't get to see a vaginal birth or a C-section, but we did get to work in postpartum. They was trying to have me give my first what was it? Place my first catheter on a woman who had just had a baby. I was so glad that woman denied having a student, because who wants to play around with somebody that just gave birth? Everything looks different down there. Everything's swollen. Some things might be ripped. It's painful. And you got a student down there playing with a catheter? Absolutely not. So I'm so glad she denied a student. But I did enjoy the OB rotation because I did like the mom baby aspect of it, supporting new parents, supporting parents with whatever they needed, breastfeeding assistance, things like that. So I knew that my love for being in the space of birth work was there. So as being a nurse, I started doing my research of other things, other ways that I could contribute and be work in birth work. So I did find out about doulas. Doulas weren't really talked about or very popular um, in my upbringing. I never heard of anybody having a doula. So when I found out about it, it sounded very interesting. So I went through training as a doula through Kappa. So there's like two really major big corporations that teach doula work, postpartum doula and labor doula, is Dona and Kappa. I think I went through Kappa. So I was in Colorado at the time. I did my training. I loved it. There were certain qualifications that you had to go through in order to get certified as a doula. So you had to read a certain amount of books. You had to attend a certain amount of births. You had to get recommendations from the people whose birth you attended. You had to get letters from the actual doctors, the attending doctors, the nurses, and the patient. And I think there might have been like a test or something. I don't know. I didn't go through all that. So I'm not a certified doula, but I am a trained labor doula. And then I did some advanced labor doula training through a company called Cocoon Birth, I believe it was. So they taught more in-depth techniques of supporting the mother throughout labor, supporting the father. We played with some placentas. I think we might have learned how to encapsulate placentas. I don't remember. It was a while ago. So I didn't really know. I mean, it wasn't really that popular then. It was kind of a new thing. So I did attend two births. One was a natural VBAC. She felt like her first labor was very rushed. She did not get an opportunity to fully labor and allow her body to do what it naturally can do. And so she asked me to come in because as a doula, you're there to kind of, I don't want to say enforce, but to try to stay on task of the parent's birth plan as much as possible. You're there to support, you're there to provide relief, you're there to advocate for the family and the laboring mother to make sure that her needs are being met and that her wishes are being taken into account. And so I was there not only to advocate for her against, not against, but towards staff, but also to her partner. Her partner wasn't as supportive as she wanted him to be. He was kind of critical and, you know, just made her feel a type of way. And so I had to make sure that she felt safe, that she was comfortable, that she had everything she needed. You're there to, give back massages, whatever you need to do in order to make the mother feel as comfortable as possible. So she had a successful natural birth after having a cesarean, which is a natural VBAC, vaginal birth after cesarean. At sunrise, we was there all night long, and the baby came at sunrise, and it was a beautiful experience. And then the other birth that I attended, we were not there at the hospital that long while she was laboring. I noticed that her labor was progressing a little bit faster than normal, and then she was just in too much pain too soon. We had just got there. And so I called for the nurses, and sure enough, she was bleeding, had to be rushed to emergency C-section. So I didn't even get to see that because they don't allow anybody in there other than I don't even know if her partner was there, if he would have been allowed in there for emergency C-section. They didn't allow it. So, but I was the first person to lay eyes on the baby even before the mama. And that was my doula experience. I think looking back, I might have talked about this before, but I think I would have preferred to be a postpartum doula because I do enjoy working with the mom and the baby after the birth. But I could still go back and do that. But I was just saying that to give my experience with birth work and moving to Atlanta, seeing how there is such a big community of Black birth workers was really beautiful to see as well, because in Colorado, where I did my training and where I grew up, it's not really, I don't see too many people, like too many collective people putting together like Black birth work. communities or Black birth workers uniting to create a cause or something in Colorado. It might be there now, but I didn't see it then. So it was really nice to see when I moved back to moved to Atlanta that there are a lot of Black birth workers. There are a lot of midwives, postpartum doulas, labor doulas, full spectrum doulas, and a full spectrum doula literally is just what they say. They do it all. They do it before birth, after birth. They help people with unwanted pregnancies. They do a lot. So, and then incorporating herbalism, traditional African practices. There are so many different things. There are people who support home births. There are people that support you at birthing centers where it's ran by midwives. And then, of course, people can birth at a hospital, but some doulas and midwives do not operate in a hospital. Some will, but some will tell you that if you're not having a home birth, you're not the right client for them. I gotta drink my tea fast because I don't like when it gets cold. But I wanted to bring that up today to segue into our topic because I ran across this video of actress Meagan Good, and I want to play it. It's a little long, but it's not that long. But I want y'all to be able to get the point. So she was recently on Scott Evans' show, House Guest, on YouTube. And this is what she says on being ready for motherhood.
I want to be a mom.
You do?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, is that something you've always known, or did you come to that?
I've come to that.
Was there something that happened? Was there did you see a baby, you were holding a baby, and you were like, uh-oh, the feeling that people talk about is happening?
I think it's more, because even my sister tell you, like, when she got pregnant with my first nephew, she was like, I gotta tell you something. I was like, okay, what? She's like, you can be her. We actually had this moment somewhere else, but just tell me you're pregnant. I'm gonna tell you my response.
Okay, so Megan, I gotta tell you something.
What?
So, we're pregnant. You're gonna be an auntie. I'm gonna have a baby.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, you're pregnant.
Yes, I'm pregnant.
Why? Right now? Wow, sister, wait. Wow.
Did you say why, or did you?
I didn't be able to do anything. That was my response.
You did not say why.
I said right now.
Right. But we have so many plans. 33.
But I will say, I think even that put me back a little bit because I was like, ooh, that's a lot, you know?
Yeah.
But I think even now, I'm just super ready because I think there was a fear that life would turn into Groundhog's Day. And I think now, honestly, in huge part to Jonathan, because I knew I wanted to be a mom before Jonathan. I knew I was about ready before Jonathan.
Yeah.
But I'm like ready right now because I have so much fun with him. And because I know that it's not going to become Groundhog's Day. I know that me and him are going to be backpacking over here, and we're going to be over here producing this movie that I might be directing and he might be producing, or he might be starring, and our kids are going to be with us in Africa, wherever it is. But I just know that even if we're not moving around a lot, that the way that we move, I really, really love. And the way that we do life, I really, really love.
And that your tribe will go with you.
Yes, and even if we don't go anywhere, it's just the texture of what the quality of life looks like.
Yeah,
it is wonderful.
So I saw that earlier, and just on with Meagan Good, you know that she recently got divorced. I don't know how long ago it's been since she got divorced, but she was married to the pastor Devon Franklin. I don't know if it's Devon or Devin. I think it's Devon. And I believe she may have expressed hesitations about having children when they were together. Or people assumed, that's what it was. People assumed that she didn't want to be a mother. And that might have been one of the reasons why they broke up. Oh, hey, Miss Latrice L. Monet 444 on Instagram. Shout out to you. She says, hey, boo, just popping in before I close my eyes. You know I'm on here late night. I'm going to do better with coming on earlier so y'all can join me live and stay with me. But Thank you for popping in. So with Meagan Good, she was married to Devon Franklin. They got divorced. There were speculations that she might have not been ready for motherhood or whatever. Meagan Good, I believe, let me get it right. I don't want to do no guessing. So Meagan Good is 43 years old, and her and Devon Franklin divorced in 2002, so just a few years ago. They were together for a long time. They were together for about 11 years, married for 10, and I don't know when her and Jonathan Majors started dating, but we all know Jonathan Majors has been in some controversy. He had a growing career. It was growing rapidly, his acting career, and then he faced some charges, some abuse charges with the woman that he was with. And then all of a sudden, while he was in trial for that, him and Meagan Good started popping out together as a couple. A lot of people thought it was PR, public relations, a made up fake relationship to kind of help his press, because he was going through what he was going through. And then she was, coming off of this really big public divorce. But they say it's real. And I've seen her interviews talking about her relationship with him, and it seems real to me. So she said in this clip that I just played that she's now feeling like she's ready for motherhood. And she felt this way prior to getting with Jonathan Majors. But now that she's in the relationship and she loves the way they are with each other, that she is even more excited about it. I think she was basically mentioning how she had some fears about, having a child, kind of shifting your lifestyle and having kind of like a mundane life where it's she mentioned it being Groundhog Day, where it just seems like it's the same day every day, repeating the same things over and over again, shifting the dynamics of the relationship. And I think that is a valid concern, because not only does a child change things for your life, it does change things in the relationship. Clearly, we've been seeing a lot of these relationships shift that we've talked about in the past couple of weeks. What was the one? Jacquees and Deandra Sanders, and then there was Nikki. I don't know her real name, but she go by Miss Nikki Baby, and the dude with the Swerve song, whatever his name is, Jello Ball. So, not comparing her relationship to other people, but just saying that it's a valid thing to be concerned about life changing after children. But she feels pretty comfortable with it. Her and Jonathan are engaged to be married. She says that his family loves, or her family loves him. She says she come into the house when they're at her parents' house and he's laying in her mom's lap or getting his hair cut in the back by her dad. Gets along well with her sister and her brother-in-law, Eric Bellinger. So they seem to be doing well. I saw some people in the comments saying, you know, the type of relationship that you have will make you change your mind about motherhood too. So I don't know what happened between her and Devon Franklin, where she wasn't ready then, or if it was just the place that she was at in life and just feeling like she wasn't ready. But now she says she is. And again, she's 43. I did see somebody make a judgmental comment about her age, which we're going to get into that in a minute. But a lot of women have chosen to be childless, which, they don't ever want to have children, and they've decided that that's the route for them. Some people call them the rich auntie. Some of those ladies include Tracee Ellis Ross, my girl who I love. She says, I feel fertile with creativity, full of power, more and more a woman than I've ever been. And yet that power that I was told I must use was not used. So I'm not sure if Tracee Ellis Ross ever wanted to be a mother, but she has definitely stood on business when it comes to not being defined by marriage or children. and having a fulfilling life outside of that. Mary J. Blige says, "I like my freedom to go and move and do what I want to do. I don't want to have to tend to someone all the time." She continues, "I don't think having kids is going to happen." So she chooses to be childless because she likes her freedom. She don't want to be tied down. She want to be able to move about in life and not have to consider a whole other being. And that's her prerogative. Maya, the singer Maya says, "I have not had the baby bug yet. It hasn't been there for me. I have fur babies, godchildren, nieces, and nephews. I'm still on my hustle. I'm still on my grind." Now, we were thinking Maya and Ashanti are kind of like in the same age group from the same era. Maya came out a little bit earlier, I think, than Ashanti, but a lot of people kind of compared them. But as you can see, Ashanti got back with Nelly. They spun the block and got married and instantly had a child. And there's rumors circulating that she's pregnant with her second child. And the other guy, what's his name? He's a rapper, Joyner. Lucas Joyner, is that his name? He said that him and Ashanti used to date, and at the time she wanted to be a mother when she was with him, but he just said he wasn't at the in that season of his life because he's much younger than her, but he wasn't ready. And he said that Ashanti was a great woman. He knows that she'll make a great mother and all of that, but he just wasn't ready. So apparently this is a desire that she's had for a long time, and she was just waiting on the right opportunity and the right man. And I guess Nelly was the one for her. I've got 6 god babies. Don't think that because I didn't birth children that I don't have children. I have 6 godchildren. I do not feel less fulfilled as a woman, period. That's Vivica A. Fox. I have heard Vivica Fox say in an interview, though, that she does regret not having children. But I think she doesn't. That doesn't mean that she doesn't feel fulfilled. It just means that if she could turn back the hands of time, she may have chosen to have a child or more. Sanaa Lathan. She hasn't publicly spoke on why she doesn't have children, but she has spoken about her desire for a life partner. She said that she dreams of having a life partner, but she is happy and loves her freedom. She has also said that she dates, but she doesn't want anything less than something amazing. And if it's not going to be that, she's just going to keep being her free spirit self. And that kind of reminds me of Tracy Ellis Ross on that interview with Kevin Hart when she says that she has um no desire to be in a relationship just to be in a relationship. She would love to have a fulfilling relationship with someone that is for her, but just to have a man, she good. And I feel her. And Regina Hall is also another one I could think of that's, you know, in her 50s and childless. And I think for her, she was just saying that a lot of her decisions would be different if she did have a marriage and she had children. She would fight for her marriage and different things that she was mentioning, that life would be a little different if she decided to have kids. So some of these women that I'm mentioning are successful, they're beautiful, and they feel fulfilled even though they chose not to have children or they've waited to have children. Some of the other people that have actually had children later in life, like I just mentioned, Ashanti. Then we have Halle Berry. I believe she waited until her, I want to say, late 40s. Janet Jackson was 50 when she got pregnant. Some of the other celebrities are getting married and having children later, like Serena Williams. Um, who are some other ones that come to mind right now? Even Tia and Tamara, I think that they were in their 30s, but that was still like they waited a little bit later. Gabrielle Union, she had her child via surrogate, but she still did wait until she was in her 40s. So women are having children later in life, as I'm noticing. Of course, we still got teen pregnancies, people having pregnancies and families in their 20s and in early 30s. Of course, that's going to be the norm. But I believe that with the millennials, I don't have the statistics on it, but I just seeing it with my eyes online and in real life, people are choosing to wait to have children later in life. And we're told that 35 and up is a geriatric pregnancy. They have another term for it now too that they use, that they kind of stop saying geriatric pregnancy. Let me see. They call it advanced maternal age now. So with 35 and up, it they say that it comes along with, higher risk of um, genetic issues, problems with the pregnancy, harder labors, different illnesses that can be more risky, like gestational diabetes, and different things that you get more higher risk the older you get. Um, but they also don't mention all of the successful pregnancies and labors that are had after 35. There are plenty of people that have had successful, beautiful, healthy, amazing, safe pregnancies and deliveries after 35. Just in my family alone, I think my grandma had her youngest at 38, and I believe my great grandmother had her youngest in her 40s, her mid to late 40s. On my dad's side, my aunts had children in their late 30s as well. Very healthy, very successful pregnancies. So I know for me, I'm 36. I personally still want to have children. And a lot of people, they'll come sit and ask you with concern, like, don't you think you're waiting too long? Or do you want to have kids? Or what's going on? And I get that. If it was up to me, I would have had children in my early 20s based on what I wanted at that time. But thank God I did, because life would be so much different. The type of mother that I would be would have been so much different. But I got married early, and it was in my plans to have children early as well. But I'm so grateful and thankful that it didn't work out that way. So just trust anybody that wants children, that is not happening as quick as you want or as fast or during the timing that you want. Sometimes you just can't force the issue, and you just got to trust, because in hindsight, you'll understand why. It might be your ancestors trying to save you from the person that you're trying to have the child with, or it might just not be in your cards at the moment. But I was told, I'm 36 now, so during my annual, when I was 35, my OBGYN, or my GYN, I've been going to her probably for maybe like 7 years at this point. Never had an issue with her. She seemed to be very friendly and stuff at first. I don't know what happened to her during the pandemic. Something changed. Her energy changed. Her passion for what she does changed. Um, but I remember when I turned 35, like, I asked her, I was like, I don't have a partner right now, but I do still desire to be a mother. Is there anything that I should be concerned about? Instead of her saying, well, you know, since you are at the age where pregnancy becomes higher risk, there's some tests we can do. We can check your fertility. I can show you some information on freezing your eggs, just in case it takes longer than you expect. Like, instead of her giving me the options and letting me know what type of testing could be done, or even simply just opening up my chart and looking to see if there was anything she needed to specifically tell me, she just looked at me with a straight face, like, and basically was like, it's pretty much out of the question. The science that we have available is not enough to make sure that it's possible. Like, in that, something of that nature. And I believe she mentioned freezing eggs, but in a way of like, it's so painful and it's not affordable. And I'm just thinking, like, how do you know that that's something that I wouldn't want to invest in if that's what you're saying is my only option? So as Black women, a lot of people say we have to treat the medical field like how Black men have to treat their encounters with police, because they are not compassionate. They don't take our word for truth. They don't think that we experience pain in the same ways. They're not as resourceful at times. I'm going to just say, I'm not going to blanket everybody, but they can be inconsiderate. and just treat you like a number, like you're at the DMV. So I already had my own thoughts and feelings about my fertility and my past, and because I was a nurse, because I am a birth worker, I've been a doula. I've trained as I'm a certified yoni steam specialist, so I had to learn about herbalism and different maternal wellness and all of that during my training as a yoni steam practitioner and all of these things. Because I have the knowledge, I didn't feel discouraged, but I did feel disappointed that that was her answer and her response. And so I was just like, wow. And it makes me wonder, like, who else are you being that cold to? So the crazy thing about it is the gynecology office that she works with, they send out a newsletter every now and then. They send out emails or whatever. And I would say less than a year later, I got an email saying, if you all need to make any appointments with this particular doctor, do so now because she's getting ready to go on maternity leave on this day. And I'm like, oh, she's pregnant. I decided I wanted to do a little research and find out, how old is this woman? So I did my research, and guess how old she was, y'all? The exact same age as me. So as you're looking at me with a straight face, telling me that motherhood is pretty much out of the question without looking up anything in my history, without doing any research or testing, without giving me any options or allowing me to explore my options, now y'all are sending me a letter telling me that you're about to go on maternity leave. So I sent them a nice little email back, and I said, congratulations, of course, because that's a beautiful thing, not taking away her happy moment. But I did want to use it as a teaching moment for them to understand that train your staff how to be more compassionate and how to um, give all the options to the people that come in there, because you want us to celebrate her having a child at advanced maternal age, yet she's discouraging other women for their own paths with that. So I just said all that to say that when it comes to your maternity, fertility, your health, maternal wellness, womb wellness, even when it comes to like things where a lot of these gynecologists and surgeons, they want to quickly tell you, oh, you have this, let's do a hysterectomy. Like that's the first option that they want to give you if you have a fibroid or a cyst or any type of complication with your reproductive health. The first thing they want to do is tell you to remove your reproductive organs, and there may be so many other options. They don't even start with what's your diet. Let's start with some changes there. What type of herb? And like, of course, it's big pharma. It's medical. So I say all this to say, do your due diligence and your research to maintain your own health outside of the medical field, because yes, the medical field is there for a reason. Western medicine is there for a reason, but it also is not your only option. Like, look into holistic health, do your own research. I have so many books on herbalism and birth. I kept all my pregnancy and birth books from nursing school, so I have those as resources. I definitely could make sure that I'm following, because I'm preparing for motherhood now, even though I'm single, and even though I don't know when that's going to happen for me. I've been preparing, so I follow a lot of midwives, doulas, birth workers, homeschooling parents, different families that have the dynamic that I would like to have, gentle parenting advocates and experts. Like, just prepare, do your research, do your due diligence, and just be as healthy as you can. Find out ways to pour into your health outside of what somebody else tells you, because in nursing school, we had a little bit of training on nutrition, but it's based off of the standard American diet. I don't believe doctors get that much training on nutrition and different things. They're pretty much taught about pharmaceuticals and medicine and studying and researching and all of that. So you have to do your own due diligence about alternative medicine and holistic health. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. Because you gotta watch what you say. But all I would say is if motherhood or fatherhood or whatever is something that you desire and you're an older age, just make sure you're staying as healthy as you can. Like keep yourself healthy, mind, body, and spirit. It's not just about your physical health. It's about your mindset. If you believe that you can still become a parent at your older age and it is, and that's in the cards for you, you got to believe it and you got to have the mindset of being healthy and doing the work and doing what you need to do that. Body, of course, exercising, eating right, taking your, drink your, do your sea moss and your herbs and whatever it is that you need to be at optimal health. I don't know why this charger isn't working. And spirit. What's greater than what a doctor can tell you? Source, your connection to source. So pray about it, meditate, visualize yourself having healthy pregnancies and a healthy family, and put it on your vision board and write about it in your journal. And just do the work and believe. You got to trust and you got to have faith. But of course, if it's a medical reason, if it's a life or death thing, there are other options as well. You may not be able to carry your own child. Maybe you look into surrogacy. If that's out of the question, maybe you will consider, if you really want to be a mother or a father. There are plenty of babies and children that need homes, and that may be in your cards as well. Or if you decide you want to be childless and you want to be a rich auntie or a rich uncle or a godmother or a godfather or an aunt, a real auntie to your nieces and nephews, or a big cousin, or you just want to live a solo life, or you want to just be with your partner and y'all just ride out and have y'all life together without kids, that's okay too. Maybe you want to have fur babies, that's okay too. So you choose your path. Stop letting people discourage you. Stop letting people get into your ear, because I have to shut all that down in my own personal life. Like family members being concerned, family members making jokes. Like, are you literally questioning my sexuality because I haven't had children? Like, I have to shut all that shit down because that's not the energy I'm on. I desire to be a mother, but I'm not in a rush to if I want to be a mother tomorrow, like get pregnant, I can go get pregnant. But that's not my goal. My goal is to have a healthy, happy family that includes a partner that is on one accord with the things that I want, and we share the same values of parenting styles and principles and morals and how we want to raise our children and all of that. I've been told, you don't want just to have a baby daddy? No. So that's another part of the journey, is getting people out of your ear that are talking about stuff that don't align with what you see. And that goes for any aspect of your life, not just having a child. When it comes to your business, your career, your lifestyle, any type of change you're trying to make, if you're trying to be healthier, whatever it is in your life, if you have naysayers and people that are discouraging you or clowning you, mute the noise, set your boundaries, and keep it moving. Surround yourself with people that support you and uplift you and are on the same frequency, on the same vibe, that encourage you and uplift you and amplify you. And if you have trouble setting boundaries, book a discovery call, and I'll get you set up for the power of no that's coming up soon. Or you might need to just do the whole healing program, one single step at a time, to kind of just unpack a lot of things that are preventing you from setting healthy boundaries, because people will play in your face. Okay. So again, if you want to schedule a discovery call or sign up for a course or a program, you can always find that on oshacerese.com. You can book a discovery call. You can enroll in one single step at a time, which is the 6-week healing workshop. It's very guided. It's very much support involved, and you have coaching that comes along with that. So you have your assignments for the week, your exercises, everything that you're supposed to do. It also comes with the How to Beat Single journal, and then you have weekly coaching to unpack everything that you did for that week. And then So it goes inner child healing, shadow work, relationship past, all of those things. You start off with that, and then you get into your self-discovery. Who are you? What do you like? What do you need? What do you want? What are your core values? What are the boundaries that you need to set? All of that. Talks about self-love, all the good things. And then we go into what you want for your future and how to create a plan of action for you, how to manifest the things that you want. So that's that program, one single step at a time. If that sounds like something that aligns with what you need, you can just go ahead and enroll in it, oshacerese.com. If you want something to support you on your self-care and self-love and the ways that you give and receive love, 5 Ways in 5 Days is the program for you. It can be done in as little as 5 days. That is the program that teaches you how to incorporate the love languages into your daily acts of self-love and self-care. And it also teaches you how to uncover any blockages you may have with giving and receiving love. And then, of course, you can just book coaching calls. You don't have to enroll in a course if it's something that you just want someone to hold space and support you on your healing journey. That's available as well. Or just get the journal. If you're not ready for a course, get the journal and start to work and be self-paced with it and be on your own time. How to Be Single is an amazing book to help you get started on your journey and support you with some guided prompts and exercises. So I wanted to segue out of the motherhood conversation and talk about some other things that I've been recently seeing online. So this is the second time that this has come up. And then I was asked this similar question when I was talking to someone recently. So I saw a clip on a Pop the Balloon type show. It wasn't Arlette's show, the one that goes viral the most. It was a different show. And the guy asked the woman, what's the most money you've ever spent on a man? And I think she was like, well, I don't really want to put a price tag on it, but I think it was like $2,000. And he popped her balloon. So then he started kind of like elaborating, like, well, I'm just trying to figure out, because I don't know if he was saying that he wants somebody to match what he does or something to that nature. But she kind of went into an explanation like, I bought him a watch and I bought him this and that. And, I'm not opposed to spending more. And I'm thinking, first of all, is $2,000 not a lot to spend on a man? That's first of all. I saw the same question being asked on Threads. So let's go on Threads and see if we can find some of these responses, because it was a woman asking, not a man this time. I don't even think I saved it. Let me see if I can search it. The first comment I remember seeing is the woman who actually made the post. She said she bought a man a car. Yeah, I don't think I see that original post. I didn't save it. Let me try one more thing. I can't find it. It must not be meant for me to see it again. But so a lot of women were putting in their responses or whatever. And it kind of made me think of the conversation I had recently where the man asked me, let me see the exact words that he asked me. Or do I have it? I'm gonna have to look, because he recently deleted his profile, which he did tell me he was going to do prior to doing it. It wasn't because of me. We switched over to the phone. I wanted to word it right without paraphrasing, but basically he asked me, I don't know if he said, when's the last time, or do I have an issue with taking a man out on a date? Do I take men out on a date? Something like that. So it got me to thinking, if this is a normal question now, how much is the most you spent on a man? Are you willing to take a man on a date? Is it that men are wanting to be courted in the same ways that a woman wants to be courted now? Are we really looking at a monetary value of how much is spent to really see if a woman rocks with you like that? And if that's the case, what is the minimum? Because to me, spending $2,000 on a man, I don't think that was pop balloonable. Like, why are we popping balloons? But hey, people got expensive tastes. Because if somebody spends $2,000 on me, I'm going to be appreciative of that. And I could just see a man going off on a woman, clowning her, roasting her, dragging her online if the tables were turned. Like if she asked him, what's the most you spent on a man, just from that question, or what's the most you spent for a woman, on a woman, just that question alone probably would get her dragged. And then if he said $2,000 and she popped the balloon, they would be calling her all kind of ungrateful, this, gold digger, single mom, whatever the derogatory terms they think they use these days. But it just reminded me to remember that the internet is not real, that everybody doesn't think this way. Because I did an intimacy series, I want to say maybe like a year and a half ago. And I surveyed men and asked them what their idea of intimacy was. So I just want to read some of these, because if we're going off of internet clips and certain conversations that are being had online, you would think that if you're not spending big bucks on a man, that he's not going to feel appreciated. But these are some of the things that they said. Just having a nurturing woman, being patient with them, being pulled close by the back of their neck, reading together, being their peace, doing chores together, unexpected gifts, didn't say a price, attention and affection, taking showers and baths together, spending quality time, rubbing his head while binge watching their favorite show, listening to them, okay, that must be the end of the list. It was a reel, so I had to wait for all of it to pop up. But nothing on that said spin a bag on me. Like, and when I've asked men what type of gifts they like, they're usually not saying off the wall type things. I think I want to start, as a matter of fact, I'm going to do it real time. I'm going to do it right here as I'm on this show. I'm going to ask the men, what is the most thoughtful gift they receive? Because forget about the price tag. Fellas, what is the most thoughtful gift you received from a woman? Now, if we talking about going back and forth about money and stuff, I'm gonna be out the race, because I don't even remember the amounts of money I've spent. I've spent money, but I can't tell you, oh, I spent $5,000. Like, I don't know. But when it comes to thoughtful gifts, I love giving thoughtful gifts. I love to get to know the man that I'm with and just listen to the things that they need, or the things that they may be lacking, or something that they can benefit from, and give a gift. And it's usually always appreciated. Let me run down some of the things I've done that I can think of. I think I've talked about this before, but my ex-husband mentioned that he wanted to try art. He felt like he would be a great artist. So that first Christmas that we lived together, we moved in together that November. So the next month, I bought him canvases. I bought him paint. I bought him a book about how to paint by Bob Ross. It was like a tutorial about certain type nature painting. um, and paintbrushes and all the things that he needed. And he utilized the gift. He made some beautiful abstract art. He did acrylic on canvas. I think he got into oil a little bit, not really. He did a little bit of spray paint art, graffiti art. And I used to have his paintings after he passed away, but I decided to gift them to his children. So one of my favorite paintings by him, actually his best friend is holding it right now, along with two other paintings that I'll probably gift to his children. And then he had two really big paintings that we used to have in our house. I gave one of each to his daughters, and then he had his first painting that he actually made from that original gift set. I gave to one of his younger daughters. I also gifted him an actual studio, an office space. And this was like once he started taking the art seriously. He also got into graphic design and all of that. So I was like, I want to encourage you to go all the way with this. So I went and got him a space. And Lord knows that space was not that expensive. And the fact that when I think about how much it costs to lease that space, we could never find that type of space with for that type of money nowadays. This is 2025. That was probably might have been like 2012 in Colorado. It was a suite. It was nice. I decorated it, presented it to him. He kept it for a little while, but he didn't do it right. But anyway, that was a big gift that I gave him that he really enjoyed. I gave another thoughtful gift. Sometimes I think back then I used to give gifts that I would like, and that's why it's so important to know people's love languages, because I gave him this one gift that was just so beautiful to me, but I don't think he appreciated it like I would have if it was given to me. But that's because one of my top love languages is words of affirmation. And the major part of the gift was this letter that I wrote that had like a poetic vibe to it. I really wish I had it still, but I would have to look and see if I have the original thing that I typed out. That was a big, big, huge, thoughtful ass gift. This one guy that I was dating, I gave him, he was a big poker player. Like he always had poker games at his house. So I got him some custom playing cards with a bomb ass design. So I paid somebody, I got a picture of him and I paid for it to be designed in a certain way. It had his nickname on it. They was dope. I got him the custom playing cards and I got the design in a poster size and framed. Super dope. And then the most thoughtful part of the gift was his mother had passed and his brother passed. And so I took a picture of his mother and I had my mother, who draws and sketches, draw a picture of his mother sitting on a bench with him like laying his head in her lap. And it had a certain message that also incorporated his brother's name. And it was like super beautiful. I got that sketch that my mom did printed on this glass, like frosted glass. I don't even know what you would call it. It's just like a stand, a thing that's like this big and it's like made of frosted glass. And when I tell you, he flipped when he saw like each gift. I had him open each gift in a certain order. I had him open the poster first because he was like, "Oh wow, that's cool! Like that's dope." He was excited. When he got the playing cards, he was like, "Whoa!" Like super excited. Literally ran out the house like cheering. And then when he saw the gift of his mother, like me and him fell out after this situation, and we've had fallouts, like conversations where we literally cussed each other out. But he always says how special that gift was to him. No matter how mad he is at me, he mentions that gift. So I'm personally a person that feels like it ain't about the money. It's literally the thought that counts. Thoughtful gifts are everything. And I like to think that men enjoy thoughtful gifts as well and not just how much it costs. So of course, if you got a bag, if you got it to spend and you want to buy somebody a car or a house, you see these celebrities, they get the same type of gifts every birthday. Either a new car, some jewelry, a trip somewhere. They're starting to do like purchase land for them. Um, or just a stack of money. I think Offset and Cardi B, when they was together, they would be like going back and forth with gifts, and sometimes they would just give each other a whole big old stack of money. So I think it's special to be able to spin a bag on your partner, but it's really the thought that counts. So what y'all think? Y'all let me know. But anyway, we're gonna wrap this up. I just wanted to throw that in there because I saw that trending today. I'm gonna give y'all a couple of journaling prompts based off of both of our topics today. What are your thoughts on the ideal timing for motherhood or fatherhood in your life? So what are your thoughts on the ideal timing? This is mainly for people who don't have children yet and desire to have it. What does that look like for you in your life? And how do you feel about the evolving dynamics of courtship and mutual effort in relationships? Because clearly courtship is evolving, where it's not as traditional as it once was. There are some people that still are traditional, but then there are some that are just completely modern, completely non-traditional. If there's a word that is just completely opposite of the traditions that we're used to, other than non-traditional, I want to give a greater word, but they're really just off the charts with how far away they are from traditional. What does that look like for you? And one more journaling prompt is to reflect on a time when societal expectations influenced your personal decisions. How did you navigate it? So again, we talked about the societal pressure of when you're going to have a child, societal pressure of how you operate in your relationships, um, whatever that pressure may look like to you, or even societal pressure of feeling like you gotta, what they call it, keep up with the Joneses, because you see all these people giving their mates Ferraris and diamonds and land or whatever. Like, does that make you feel pressured in your relationship to be able to give what you can? Or, and also for people who receiving gifts as their love language, do you have a ticket price on that? Like, if somebody gave you a thoughtful gift and it didn't cost that much money, is that not as rewarding for you to receive that as it would be for you to know that they dropped a bag on you? Think about that. But anyway, again, always visit oshacerese.com to enroll in a course, to get you a journal, to book a discovery call to see how I can serve you. And also, if you are a business owner, an influencer, a creative, and you have ideas, you have things that you want to do, that you want to show up online, but you're feeling overwhelmed about it, you don't know how to best utilize or monetize your gifts, just go ahead and book you a strategy session, and we will get you together after one call. There's a form that you complete, and then we will get you together, whether that's a content strategy, whether that is setting you up for digital products like courses or ebooks, getting you some type of funnel so that you can funnel your customers into your website, whatever it is that you need in that realm. Holla at me, because I am the Dream Doula, supporting you with birthing your ideas into life. I'm a life coach, so that is where the support can come in with the discovery call, the courses, the book, or you can just sign up for the newsletter and stay tuned for what's next. Also, if you are a hopeful romantic and intentional dater and you're looking for love in 2025, I'm going to need you to join the Intentional Love Collective. It is a growing community and a database that I am facilitating, because I would like to curate some very nice singles mixers for you this year, where you walk into the room and you see people that are your type. You meet people that have shared interests, because I can look on this form and be able to match you based on what you said you like and what they said they like. And if it go together, y'all gonna go together. It'll help me, maybe make you a little bit better, or have smaller, intimate singles mixers with people who are like-minded and are attracted to each other. So the Intentional Love Collective right now is still in the link in my bio, so you can always go there and fill it out. I ain't gonna say always, because I might not keep it in my bio, but if you go there and it's not there, just DM me, comment, or email me at oshacerese@gmail.com, OSHACERESE@gmail.com. Intentional love. Just say intentional love and I'll get the form over to you. Again, it's for the hopeful romantics, the intentional daters, and those of you who want to get you somebody in 2025. Get on the list. It's growing. We got some amazing singles on there already. So you know all the ways to tap in with me. Make sure you do. Make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel. Those of you who are watching and not subscribed, or you're on Instagram, come on over to YouTube where this show actually lives. Turn your notifications on so you'll know when I'm popping up. That's youtube.com/@OshaCerese, youtube.com/@OSHACERESE. The link is in my bio as well. And I will talk to y'all later. Have a good night.